Hi, John Marshall, the DrillMaster. I have a team here. This is a regulation drill sequence, Air Force Junior ROTC. So we're going to get into this in just a moment. I have several videos that over the years I've downloaded. I use them for my judge training, and this is one of the videos that I downloaded. Anyway, I just thought I'd share this and go over this with whomever wants to learn. All right, so let's look at first at what is going on here. So the video starts with the commander almost coming to starting to come to attention here. So not a big deal. That's I'm not concerned about that at all. Cameras can catch all kinds of weird things, and sometimes, hopefully, we can gain the context, but then sometimes we can't. So, anyway, and I'm guilty actually of in certain instances not knowing. Hold on. That's better. Not knowing the context and passing a judgment that either I've been 50-50 kind of either correct or incorrect. So, and if it's incorrect and somebody has lets me know what's going on, then absolutely I'll correct it. Not a problem. Not at all. So at parade rest, the Air Force requires a 12-inch distance between the heels. 12 inches honestly looks silly. It really does. The Army's 10 inches is so much better. Why the difference 2 inches makes in the look, I really don't know. But 12 inches to me just looks way too wide. And everybody does it except the Army. Everybody does the 12 inches. And it just looks way too wide. It's pretty strange. All right, so, and then we have proper arm length, or not arm length, but arm placement for parade rest. Now, you might wonder about second element leader here with his elbow bent. So not everybody can put their upper arms right next to their body, and I can't put my arms back behind because I have the chair here. But not everybody can do exactly this right here. Some people just can't physically. So this is not a big deal as long as there isn't this enormous purposeful window. The window, we call that space between the body and the arm there. So, and it doesn't look to be super parade rest, type of thing. So, so I would say that's fine, not a big deal. Good command. But the commander did something wrong here. So all commands are supposed to be given facing the formation. So the commander does not face with the formation. The commander executes a face in march as soon as he, in this case, gives forward march. Then that commander steps off with the flight with a face in march to the left. And then I'm looking at feet here, and they look relatively consistent. Kind of difficult to tell from a corner view there, but it's not not too bad at all. But we have some squared off knuckles, and what you're supposed to have is angled knuckles like this. And so we can look at the Air Force pamphlet, and for years and years and years, several versions of the manual, the female staff sergeant, I think she is, in the pamphlet showing the position of attention from the side, her blouse sleeve length is way too long. It should end. We're having thunderstorms. It should end around the wrist, but hers just extends practically past her into the middle of her hand. So you can't see whether she's purposefully doing this, pushing her ulnar extension, I think it's called, pushing that that thumb forward. It's exactly what what's required for Commonwealth drill. But this is not the doesn't fall within the requirements. So you need to have an angle just like this. But see, my wrist is neutral. I'm not pushing. I'm not purposefully extending. There's no need to, really. So you can see a little bit of a chop, what I call a chop step. So, and there's a couple of variations for the chop step. There's the flat-footed chop step, which Bellevue West. If you look up my critique on Bellevue West, they have an awesome unarmed exhibition performance, and they do a form of the chop step, which is fine for exhibition drill. And or I'll even call that a slap step, where the whole the whole bottom of the foot hits the marching surface at the same time, and that's fine with exhibition drill, not a problem. But here, this chop step has so if this is the marching surface, the foot comes up and then comes slightly back to chop backwards, then roll forward through that step, and that's not proper technique. Proper marching technique. So I get it that it makes a little bit more sound. As a matter of fact, when I went through basic training for the Air Force, actually when I was going through basic camp at Fort Knox, Kentucky, that's the way we were taught to march, with digging the heel in and creating that sound. And I get it. It helps people who can't march, who are showing up and they're going through basic or boot camp. And it helps them understand and get that sound, get the rhythm, and so they eventually can march much better. I do understand the application there. However, it creates bad marching technique. And here we have, I'll call it poor marching technique. So what you should do is hit with the heel like this and roll off. So coming up with the leg swing forward and then chopping in, it's not exactly what we're looking for in regulation drill. But then also, so team commander, you should have halted, faced the formation, given left face, and then executed about face. Now your slight movement to center yourself, now right there, those slight movements, that just tells me, I don't know if it told the judge, but it tells me that you're not centered on the way in like you should be. So what I was going to say is the application of the step is inconsistent throughout the team as they're marching in. Some are doing that, what I call the chop step, coming back like that, but also some are marching properly, using proper technique, with the heel coming forward and then continuing the momentum forward. So you're supposed to touch the fingertips. First element, now this is for everybody, this is for Army, Air Force, and Space Force. When we execute dress right, we are going to, for the first element or first squad, everybody looks to the right, touches the fingertips to the right with the shoulder. And if you can't, then, if the shoulder's here and the fingertips are up here, as long as the arm is horizontal, that's fine. And then you just have to look and make sure that you're taken care of as far as the distance there, and that's not a big deal. That's proper. This is not proper, is in that she's leaving some space. Not supposed to do that. Everybody else behind her, everybody else behind him, they're supposed to either touch the fingertips or not touch the fingertips. It really doesn't matter. Everybody else's arm is up for uniformity. But the second element, second squad, third element or squad, what we're doing in those positions is we're looking to the right, getting our alignment, but we're also using our eyes to look forward to make sure that we're aligned with whoever is directly in front of us. And then we give ready front, and we don't give cover. For the Army, Air Force, and Space Force. For Marine Corps, Navy, and Coast Guard, they all go to the fingertips. They don't align to forward at the same time. And then after ready front, the commander gives cover. And that's when everybody covers to the front. That was good. Really sharp. And no... so, commander, don't go to parade rest. You're not part of the formation. You are the commander of the formation. In color guard, you're part of the formation, so you respond to your own commands. You don't respond to your own commands here when you're outside of the formation. That was nice and sharp. Really appreciate that. Good command. Flight tench hut. That was very good. So we can see elbows here. Most upper arms look to be horizontal. That's great. And what we do for the Army and Air Force and Space Force, we actually have the elbow in front of the line of the shoulders. Army, Navy, and Coast Guard has the elbow in line with the shoulders. Almost. So it should have been count off, and not count off with a just a slight pause in there. This is the only command where, when it's written on the command, every other time in all of the manuals, all of the 3 drill and ceremonies manuals for the military, it will say on the command, which means when the command's given, then you perform the action. This is the only time where on the command, it actually means on the command. So count off. So on the word off, everybody turns their heads to the right who are not in the first rank, who are not element leaders in this case. And so that's the reason is because the next count is going to be the element leaders calling out 1, and then you snap your head back 2, and then 3, and so forth, how many ever there are. And it should be in cadence, the call out. So again, Commander, you don't face with the flight. So now look at heels here. Are the heels aligned? I can tell with 3rd rank they aren't, but they should be, which is interesting because shoulders look aligned, but heels don't, which means that I'm thinking body alignment might not be. Yeah, actually, it looks like. So her ankle is about right here. You draw a straight line up, and she's leaning backwards. So as best I can draw a line, a freehand there. So her shoulders are a little bit backwards, but I think what she's doing is arching her back just a bit to stand at attention, a little bit more attention. Instead of standing normally, she's standing at attention doing this. So then that throws off alignment just a bit. So, I mean, this is a possibility of what might be happening here. The best way to align any line like this, any rank, is by the heels and not by the shoulders. It's just interesting observation here, I guess. So, Commander, what you would have done is you would have marched forward, and then for extend, you would march backwards. And then when you're closed, then you should be at close interval. When you extend, then you're back at normal interval. Good movement. That worked well. Good alignment. It looks like good spacing as well, maintained through that. And again, you don't face, Commander. You would march backwards here. And and then you would step off with a right face in march, Commander. So I'm not going to keep... I'd really like to study that about face, but the judge keeps walking in front, so... it looked like everybody did a pretty decent job on that. Heel strikes, mostly, some toe strikes. So for the Army, Air Force, and Space Force, half step actually means half of a full step, which is still a heel strike. I'm looking at end steps. So the end steps are off, which means that there's alignment issues then. But also, that slight, and I mean ever so slight pause, that's not proper technique on those flanks. Yeah, see, and you can see the end steps are not uniform, so that everybody is out of alignment, and they're regaining their alignment. That's called recovery. They're recovering after performing that flank or series of flanks. Really, in this case, the two flanks, one right after another, and this is designed to challenge the team and see if they're actually maintaining their dress cover interval and distance throughout while marching these two flanks. So it can be a challenge, but end steps is what needs to be concentrated on there. But also that slight pause, that's not the proper technique. See the toe strike here for the first two element leaders and then third element leader. So, and then here, the rear march, that wasn't proper technique for that step after. It's a half step, feet aligned, turn, and then another half step. Plus, I see a lot of toe strikes there, and I get that it's an easier technique because you hit your toe and all you have to do is turn on it, but you really should be stepping through and then turning. So Air Force uses to the rear, march, step in front and in line, 12 inches apart, heel to heel, and then turn, another half step. The half step is a big drag. Don't like it. It's not conducive to keeping the momentum that was generated, that all of a sudden has to be slowed down and then picked back up. So step. Some people are bringing their feet together, almost at attention. Some are. It's just not uniform technique there. So third element leader, you snap your head back to attention after the command. You call forward and then put your head back. The reason the other two element leaders keep their heads pointed in this direction and eyes right, if you will, is they're watching for feet, and they're going to call out their commands of, it should be forward march. That's it. That's it. Good job. Good. And then incline to the right, incline to the left. That's exactly the way this is supposed to be done. Well done. However, Commander, you should have stepped off with second element so that you can maintain your position of centered on the flight, and then you move over to be 3 steps away from the flight. And you need to execute that right face. So it's element halt. So I don't know if yeah, we don't do that. Actually, nobody does. We don't call out first element, second element, or whatever on this. Nobody does. It's always for the other services. It'll be a mark, time, march, and then halt. But you don't identify elements, just like you don't identify A flight, B flight when calling to attention or halt or whatever. It's just strictly element halt. And the team did well with that, although spacing between first and second is a little close. That was really good application of double time, I think. Yeah. Well done. And then what you're supposed to do, Commander, is you're supposed to maintain your direction of facing the flight as the flight comes around you, and then as soon as the center is in front of you, then you execute a face in march while marching in place, and then you step off. So, and you're a little bit close here. So that 3-step distance needs to be maintained the entire time. So forward is given on the left foot, and that's so good technique on at least foot technique on the change step. But as far as timing goes, it has to be step, step, step. You did fine with that. It was just way too slow. You never change step there. It's still left, right. And really what it needs to be is step, 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 so that it's then left, right, right. And then if you were still going left, right, it would be left, right, left, right, left, right, in the original cadence. So you actually have to change the step, not just perform the technique of the right foot against the or the middle of the right foot against the left heel. Again, slight pause there on the flanks, and it shouldn't be. Little bit of shoulder movement on several of the cadets, shoulders moving back and forth instead of staying in place and only the arms moving. So the team really doesn't, some of the team members don't understand the responsibilities of marching forward. Good. Why are you saluting, Judge? It's not for you. It's just for you to check technique. So, judges, when you salute like that, you're not paying attention to what the team's doing. I know that the eyes right needs to be moved so that it's somewhere else, but most of the the audience is right here, so it's nice to have that eyes right as if performing it for a parade or review, something like that. But Judge, stop coming to attention, and attention, head and eyes straight forward, got to salute. Okay, finished. And now I can go back to judging. No, you're supposed to judge the whole thing. And you're missing out when you do that. Although I'm quite sure hardly anybody has taken that into account. So marching responsibilities of the heel strike is not really understood as well. So see, you can see here, this is even better. Look at the heels, how they progress forward instead of in line. Even here, and this is even better with the this black line on the floor here. You can see that heels are not aligned, and yet, interestingly, shoulders here are. And I do believe she's kind of arching her back a bit. Yeah, a lot of platform placement there instead of actually marching through the step. That's not a marching step, just having the platform placement. You can hear the scuffing actually as well, because of the toe strike, and it's also a lazy toe strike because the toes are making that sound because they're hitting like this and then stopping, within maybe an inch or less, but it's just a as they move forward there, and really it needs to be a heel strike. Now if it was Marine Corps, Navy, Coast Guard, then the toe strike should be an actual toe strike, but then you have to rock back on the heel and yet move forward. It's kind of strange. I'm not exactly a fan of that technique, but anyway, arm swing looks very consistent throughout the team, except for backswing. Backswing looks to be ignored just a bit. So good job, Commander, calling the command over the right shoulder when not facing the or marching alongside the flight there, marching away from it. That was good. If you were to give, say, a left flank there, then the head would be over the left shoulder because the team is going to the left. But anything to the right, it's over the right shoulder. Every other command is always over the right shoulder. So.
Sir, L20051, O'Fallon Township High School, O'Fallon, Illinois. Unarmed regulation drill team.
Illinois. I didn't even understand the school.
Thank you, sir.
So. Yeah, maybe, Commander, maybe you're stepping over to center yourself on the judge. I'm not exactly sure. There's no need for that little tiny sidestep. None at all.
Sir, L20051, O'Fallon Township High School, O'Fallon, Illinois. Unarmed regulation drill team has completed the sequence and request permission to exit your drill area. Thank you, sir.
Weird. Not necessary at all. If you look,
regulation drill team has completed the sequence and request permission to exit.
Look at her first step.
Thank you, sir.
I noticed it earlier. Oh, crud. Of course. Well, darn it. Anyway, so at least on her second step, the toe is coming up, just like everybody else's. relatively similar to everyone. But her first step, the whole foot is horizontal. Interesting that it's just that step for her. So you don't fall out from column formation, you fall out from line formation. And again, got to face the flight there. But so we can learn all kinds of things through watching other performances. And if you don't have an in-depth understanding, then listening to what I do is probably going to provide you that good in-depth understanding. So, well, I hope my words are helpful for anybody out there, honestly. Thanks for watching.